the direction sought is against me. I'm a private hospital.
All right.
The dispute relates to me releasing the records of a patient to a particular party. The petitioner claims that the petitioner is the relative of the patient, but someone else had admitted the patient under a power of attorney. Therefore, we did not release the records to the petitioner because they have a property dispute going on between them. Under such circumstances, direction is sought that I release the records in favor of the petitioner, which I have refused to do, and because I refuse to get into their dispute. Now, my question, Lordship, is my humble submission
Whether the writ will be
is maintainable purely against me.
State.
Yes.
Yes. What is your objection?
My lord, first of all, the direction sought is against me. I'm a private hospital.
All right.
The dispute relates to me releasing the records of a patient to a particular party. The petitioner claims that the petitioner is the relative of the patient, but someone else had admitted the patient under a power of attorney. Therefore, we did not release the records to the petitioner because they have a property dispute going on between them. Under such circumstances, direction is sought that I release the records in favor of the petitioner, which I have refused to do, and because I refuse to get into their dispute. Now, my question, Lordship, is my humble submission
Whether the writ will be
is maintainable purely against me. All the other respondents have been added, but they really speaking have no role to play.
Very well. Yes.
Grateful, Lordship.
Petitioner.
Millard, so far as Millard, my learned friend is concerned, I believe Millard, my learned friend concedes to the fact that he is governed by a statute and under a body. And that statute, Millard, the parent body, Millard, has itself indicated to him with copy to me. Kindly take the supplementary. Have you shown her the papers?
Millard, we've not been served with a supplement.
They have been. Kindly take the supplementary affidavit once, Millard.
Millard, we've not been.
Nobody has it.
But after we write to my learned friend's clients, Millard,
Give a copy. Give a copy. The moment the court looks at a copy, the copy
Of
should
course,
be there
of
with the
course.
all the respondents.
Of course.
Yes.
Millard, when we write to the National Medical Commission, we write to them, and Millard, the National Commission writes back to the medical superintendent, respondent number 5, who is before your lordship, medical records of Borsha Ganguly. I enclose here with a copy of the letter dated 12th April 2023, received from Srimati Sulochana Kanjilal, Kolkata, through her legal counsel, requesting for providing complete medical records of the treatment of Borsha Ganguly, which is self-extension. In this context, your kind attention is invited to clause 1.3.2 of the Indian Medical Council Professional Conduct, Ethic and Ethic Regulations 202, which reads as under. If any request is made for the medical records either by the patient's authorized attendants, legal authorities involved, the same may be duly acknowledged and document shall be issued within period of 72 hours. A copy of the Medical Council of India circular dated 23rd in the above subject matter is enclosed for your reference. As already instructed therein, you are requested to ensure that the above request of Sulochana Kanjilal, who is the petitioner, is dealt with accordingly under intimation to NMC. So, Millard, they have also been aware of the fact.
The patient is one Borsha Ganguly.
Yes.
Borsha Ganguly.
Yes.
And the petitioner is Kaushik Ganguly
Yes, nephew.
and Sulochana Kanjilal. Who are they?
Millard, kindly come to niece and nephew, paragraph 7, I have stated. And not only that, Millard, so far as the petition number 2 is concerned, she is also the executor to the will of. So, by virtue of that also, Millard, I am not on the question of 1.3.2. 1.3.2 I in any event cover, but under any other provision of law, Millard, I have a right to know what is the extent and what are the expenses that have been incurred towards the funeral and other expense. I have nothing against my learned friend.
Who are the other claimants? It has been submitted that somebody else admitted the
May I
patient
indicate,
in the
Lordship,
hospital.
without giving a copy to my learned senior friend, may I show the document which was given to us? One Sugato Shankar Roy admitted this concerned patient.
Oh.
My lord, at that juncture, Lordship, as is asked, what is the relation of the person admitting? The person said that I am the guardian of the patient. The hospital was not satisfied with that, and therefore we asked him to furnish some evidence. What was given to us was a power of attorney. Lordship, a registered power of attorney. May I, Lordship, kindly hand it over? For the time being, Lordship, may I be excused? If Lordship finally directs, my Lord, we'll produce it to the other side.
No, you read out from there. There's
Lordship.
no requirement of handing it over to the court.
Lordship, in the power of attorney in para 16, it is stated, the attorney holder to take all decisions regarding my treatment and signing consent forms and other documents in any hospital or nursing home or treatment center in case I am admitted to any hospital or nursing home or treatment center for my medical treatment, and in case of emergency will decide and sign on my behalf whether to provide and or withdraw ventilator support.
That is over. The person has expired. Power of attorney
My-
goes.
my lord.
What remains? is
My
the
lord,
power of
at
attorney.
that juncture, Lordship, we admitted on the basis of this, which is why he is recorded as constituted attorney.
All right.
Now, after that, Lordship, there appears to be some dispute inter-see the parties.
Right.
We did not want to get into it, which is why, Lordship, our stand has been that if Lordship finds that we are bound to disclose the record or we should disclose the records, Lordship, we shall do so.
Has anybody else claimed the power of attorney? Has he claimed?
But he has not made any. He's not made any claim qua us. But all that I was
Regarding the documents.
But
Yeah,
the documents.
the claim is only the documents. They cannot
But
be any other claim.
the person concerned already has the documents. No, he has the documents.
No, the person concerned meaning the power of attorney holder.
Yes, because
The court is asking about the petitioner.
well, the petitioner does not have that, which is why, Lordship, someone else had admitted this lady, which is why we asked them to. They have not produced any will, Lordship. When they had approached us, Lordship, we had asked them if you whatever your.
What do you require? The death certificate. Apart from that, you do not require
I
anything
have
else.
indicated that, Milord.
What is it?
Milord, kindly, Milord, come to the first representation, which is at Milord page 15.
He is.
Medical records. Why do you require this bed tickets and all these things?
Milord, there are two reasons for it, Milord. One is, Miss Milord, so far as the expenses are concerned, these are expenses which I'll have to account for. Number one. Number two is, Milord, so far as my right to get it is, Milord, what is there in the supplementary affidavit.
Apart
But what I'm
from
trying to understand is this, Milord. Why is my learned friend's clients, who is the respondent number 5, unnecessarily getting involved into this? Because when he gets the letter of the medical council, Milord, see what his lawyer writes at page 52.
you have the copy of the will.
Will, yes.
You have. I don't want to
Not
see
only the
it.
will, it has also been probated by this honorable.
How can you get a probate till you have the death certificate and all these things?
Milord, so far as the death certificate is concerned, that is available online. So far as the filing of accounts are concerned, these things would be required.
Yes, filing of accounts, it will be required.
So, এটাই তো।
If the probate has already been granted, then
It means I need these documents. But what I'm trying to understand this is, Milord,
who
the
had
Lordship is trying to understand whether there is any ill intention beyond getting these documents.
not ill intention. Forget ill. What is the intention? Why do you
Because
require
I
these
told you,
documents?
Lordship, Milord, and not only have I told you, I have also told my learned friend that I am an executor to the will of the deceased.
Yes.
So, Milord, as an executor to the will of the deceased, Milord, I am in any event entitled to these documents. Kindly come to page 15, the last paragraph. I have indicated it at the very outset. And my learned, I, on behalf of my aunt, as executor of the will of such and such, are lawfully entitled to all the above records for the use of any purpose. Hence, you are hereby requested to supply me the records. And to that,
Was this lady a spinster?
she didn't have any issue. That's why, Milord,
Married?
married, died.
Shoeless. All right. And apart from you two, there are no other heirs?
No.
The will has been probated.
Will has been probated. Yes. Will has been.
You give all this, furnish all these documents to the hospital will.
Lordship, may I make one prayer, Lordship?
Yes.
Without wanting to get into this issue. Well, because the reason why we insisted on getting all the documents before or an order of court before releasing is that we will then be flooded with such cases. Lordship knows that there may be cases like this, several in number. Now, if Lordship kindly permits, well, it's really between Lordship will see that the allegations are made against this gentleman who admitted this lady and discharged the dead body from the
Allegation
hospital.
is there against him.
Lordship. It
Has
is there
that
in
person
paragraph
been-
9.
That person has not been impleaded and the allegation has-
Lordship kindly hears him, Lordship, that any dispute between them will be resolved, Lordship. Whatever direction,
Trying to
what-
give it this angle, I
what
really
is-
don't understand.
whatever directions my Lord gives, we will comply with it. And if there is nothing to, Lordship kindly appreciates, we will simply comply with whatever orders passed by your Lordship. The only thing is we should not get embroiled as a precedent in property disputes like this in future. Which is why Lordship kindly hears the other party with whom there is a shadow fight going on. Hears both the parties, Lordship will direct us, we will provide all the
in shadow fight or not, you are not concerned.
We are not concerned.
He says that there is a will and there is a probate. Let me see the probate.
In the judgment. My learned friend is unnecessarily apprehensive unless he is somewhere wrong. Hey,
Please come. The petitioner is aggrieved. Petitioners are aggrieved by the act of Apollo Gleneagles Hospital in not handing over the medical records of one late Borsha Ganguly, who was admitted to the hospital and breathed her last in the hospital on 13th October 2022. Stop. The medical records sought for by the petitioners are the bed head tickets, comma, all investigations / test reports, comma, OT records, and all drugs / other therapies used on the patient during her treatment. You have not sought for the payment receipts or anything. You only want the reports when the person is no longer there. What will you do with these reports now? And this will not be required for filing your report.
No, Millard, this will automatically be followed once these are there. Suppose, Millard, there isn't any, then obviously I'll call for the payment receipts.
Not obviously. This is, you are trying to better up what is there. Not obviously. You have specifically sought for the bed head tickets, not required now. Investigation test report, not required. OT, not required. Drug therapy is not required. Who paid the cost?
That is exactly, Millard. If that cost has been paid by somebody, then it not be entitled. Executor won't be entitled to account for that.
Where are the receipts of the payment?
That's everything is with them.
Well, did you inquire? You have never sought for these documents?
Millard, kindly, Millard, try and appreciate this. Millard, if I have not asked for that, doesn't prevent me from asking.
That is different. Well, in that case, I'll give you leave. Go apply.
But thing is that so far as these documents are concerned,
And next, why do you require these? 22, the poor lady died. We are in 25.
Millard, these documents, kindly, Millard,
Achha.
Millard, under this, they're statutorily bound to do it. And the authority
the
under which
petitioners-
is covered also says that you are bound to do it.
Petitioner number 1. Petitioner
And neither
number 1,
authorized attendant
Shri Ganguly,
nor-
claims to be the executor of the will of the deceased. Stop. Copy of the probate in PLA number 173 of 2023 has been produced before this court. Stop. The same is retained with the records. Stop. The petitioner, learned counsel for the petitioner submits that the documents sought for from the hospital will be required for furnishing the accounts.
It would be
This is what you submit
Lordship.
for
It would
furnish
be
the accounts in
and the
connection with
expenses which
the
are required and which
probate.
will go out from.
stop paragraph. It appears that the petitioners are yet to forward a copy of the probate to the hospital. Stop. It will be open for the petitioners to approach the hospital with the probate. Stop. The hospital on receipt, on receipt of the probate, will hand over the documents of the deceased to the petitioner number 1. Within, how soon can you give? 2 weeks, fortnight, 3 weeks?
3 weeks,
3
Lordship
weeks.
will provide.
3 weeks from the date of applying. Writ petition stands disposed of.
Malad, no merits have not been considered, and let this not be treated as a precedent. Malad, otherwise we'll be flooded with claims like this. That was the
Can you
apprehension.
stop?
We can't, Lordship.
Then
Lordship.
you
As
cannot
my lord.
stop.
Malad, Lordship has not considered the merits of the matter. At least Lordship.
What
can-
merits?
Malad, the merits of the
There is
dispute or
no
any.
allegation against you as
There are allegations, which is why I'm saying that.
ঠিক আছে,
None of the
as
allegations
the-
shall stand admitted if
As the writ petition is disposed of without calling for any affidavits, the allegations made therein are deemed not to have been admitted by the respondents.
grateful, Lordship.